Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, we are Group 7. I'm Joe. This is Marian, and Elise. Have you ever been to aquarium and canteen? Don't you think the beluga whale is cute? But have you ever wondered how important whales are to our environment? Whales are actually important and helpful to our sustainable development and help slow down the global warming. As we know, a great whale stores about 33 tons of CO2 in the air. And their excrement and their bodies are actually full of many ocean creatures, including microscopic creatures. Microscopic creatures which we call phytoplankton. They are not only food of many creatures, they also produce more than 50% of all oxygen in the air and store about 40% of CO2. Up to now, we have known the importance of whales to our environment. Now, let's talk about the importance to humans.
We all know that Japanese adore eating and catching fish, and last year they resumed commercial whaling. But is it really necessary to catch whales? Here, we would like to take Japan for example to discuss whether people can earn profit from whaling. Firstly, is whaling one of the main food sources in Japan? Now, most people in Japan don't eat whale meat. According to a survey from IFAW, 90% of Japanese had never bought whale meat in 2013. In addition, the data from NAFF shows that the consumption of whale meat has dropped a lot. Another data also shows that the average consumption of whale meat per person per day is far below those of other meats. It's apparent that local demand for whale meat isn't as much as before. Secondly, do whales really impact fishing industry? Japan's government thinks that whaling is for ecological balance. If they don't control the number of whales, allowing them to reproduce and grow rapidly, marine ecosystem will be seriously out of balance due to their predation. However, the fact is, the increase in whales will have no major change to existing food web structures or substantial impacts on fishery production. Instead, it could lead to higher rates of productivity.
The fact is that there is no need for whaling in Japan, but Japan is still restarted whaling anyway. Let's take a look at the influence of overwhaling. As what our group member mentioned before, phytoplankton produces much oxygen and captures a lot of CO2 in the air. If whales extinct, increased carbon dioxide leads to melting of the polar ice caps and changing in the eating habits of many animals. The ring seal is the best example. Traditionally, the ring seal used to hunt for food in areas with sea ice and particularly at so-called tidal glacier fronts where the glacier meets the ocean. However, climate change melted sea ice and prompted glaciers to retreat, which also made the ring seal lose their foraging places. They had to find another place to live or change their eating habits. The rapid decreasing whale population will have major effects on the ocean's ecosystem. When a whale dies, its carcass will drop down to the ocean floor and feed the sea creatures in the lower depth of the waters. So if there is no whale, this species will extinct soon as well. And here is the food web in the Arctic. We can see that the belly whale has many lines leading away from it, but there is no arrows pointed at it. So that means that the belly whale is the main predator, but having no predators of its own. If belly whale extincts or critically endangered, every animal that is linked to the belly whale will be affected, and the food web in the Arctic will also lose its balance. After knowing the severe influence of overwhelming, what can people do to stop it? The UN has established 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are expected to complete before 2030. Our topic overwhelming is related to number 13, climate action, and number 14, life below water. People take action to protect and conserve whales according to the two goals.
To achieve the goals, some countries have several solutions. The Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, SSCS, is an organization based in the United States, and their range is bad. They have successfully started projects and habitat destruction in Indonesia, Italy, and multiple other countries. They claim to have sunk 10 whaling ships since 1979, and call these ships pirate ships. Another country is Australia. Australia is a world leader for the protection and conservation of cetaceans. There are two solutions. First, the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act 1999, EPBC Act, is an Australian legislation. Under this legislation, all cetaceans are protected in Australian waters. Second, the Australian Whale Sanctuary. It was established to protect dolphins and whales. Within the sanctuary, it's an offense to kill, injure, or interfere with a cetacean. Anyone convicted of such offenses will get severe penalties. The next is Taiwan Cetacean Society. The main purpose is to gather people who care about cetacean in society and strengthen domestic cetacean investigation and conservation actions. In 1998, with the support of the Natural Ecology Conservation Association and the effort of many people, the first Cetacean Conservation Association in the Asia-Pacific region, Taiwan Cetacean Society, was established.
So far, we have seen different solutions of different countries. And what about us? As a college student, what can we do to make this issue better? First, we can share the information about overwhelming on social medias so that more people get to know this issue. The way to do so is more than just posting articles on Facebook or Instagram. We can upload videos on YouTube or open a program on podcasts as well. Second, we can keep an eye on those international petitions and sign the petition. For instance, there is a petition for establishing an Antarctic Ocean Sanctuary. As China and Russia insist on opposing it, the proposal failed and will be discussed again this year. Third, education is how we influence the next generation, so we can hold an ocean camp about whales to make others, especially children, recognize the importance of ecological conservation and resource sustainability, and enhance their understanding of this topic. To conclude, overwhelming will influence marine ecosystem and even aggravate global warming. To achieve sustainable development, we can take action to make it happen, such as share what we have learned with others, sign petitions, or hold an ocean camp for educating our next generation. And as more and more people realize how significant whales are to our world, we're much closer to our goal. And this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.